What's up, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, is Nestlemania. Alongside for the ride is a man that I cheered when his father hit him, JC.
Oh, man, your voice is going to make me laugh this entire show.
I know. Listen,
well, you know what? I'm going to try to get a little raspy with you. Well,
and for people that don't know, I am battling an illness that has taken my voice. So JC's going to have to carry me more than normal in this one, but is WrestleMania.
That's going to be pretty hard to do, because
I know. I apologize in advance to everybody. My wife told me, please, for the love of God, don't lose your voice completely, because that would suck. My kids think it's hilarious, by the way, that daddy has no authority. So that's hilarious in this household. They're like, you sound like crap, much like Birdsky just said. Yeah. So I'm battling. I'm trying to save my voice for WrestleMania, which I will eventually lose anyway. But let's get into it. Let's have some fun. It's WrestleMania season. It's WrestleMania week. We got a lot of programming to get to, folks. We've got Stand and Deliver. We've got WrestleMania. We've got the Hall of Fame. We've got some nonsense we're probably not even going to get to talk about with some guy who's not even in wrestling right now. But Phil Brooks can have another day.
Yeah, we're going to skip all that AEW drama this week. Moxley opened his mouth too, but because that's something, like you said, it is WrestleMania season. So I got a little gift from the Birdsky here, actually. Eagle Rare. And I'm going to try it for the first time right now to get it in the WrestleMania spirit. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be super hot fire show, as you said. But Nestlemania, we're going to get to the WrestleMania predictions. We're going to get to the NXT Stand and Deliver predictions later in the show. But we got to get through the normal part of the program first. So always in the shine, much like Mandy Rose, who should be part of WrestleMania this year, but is not. We're going to start with, the male version of Mandy Rose. And that is, oh, he's only smoking mirrors. Oh, the main event of WrestleMania. Oh, Nestlemania, you know what happened on SmackDown? Cody Rhodes versus Ludwig Kaiser. 2 #JC guys. I love this match. It was fun. Gave him plenty of time. Scissor me timbers. But once again, obviously, we knew Cody was going to get the win. But we once again got the Cody versus Heyman for pretty much which was one final time, the showdown before WrestleMania. And Solo, who was flanking Mr. Heyman there, got the "You're Not Ready" chance, which obviously led to Monday.
Cody's an insane human being. When I was thinking, besides the whole putting Braun Strowman on his shoulders, if you didn't see it on Twitter, go look at the image. It's ridiculous. But Cody against Kaiser, it's just Kaiser's so great because he's such an old school heel. He's such an amazing old school, just brutal throwback that I really enjoyed. Obviously, this was a JC match, but I will say this much. The "You're Not Ready" thing was a nice little callback to him being Cody in Legacy, not being ready, flanking Randy Orton, which I'm sure down the line they'll revisit as well. But then on Monday, this is the part where I was kind of iffy. I'm curious how you feel, JC, about Solo losing completely clean.
I wouldn't have had it any other way. To me, I saw this was like a discourse, and I'm like, so we're trying to protect Solo from the guy who hasn't lost, who he's came back, who they're trying to build up as having a legitimate chance of dethroning the guy who's almost been champion for a gajillion billion days. This was the right decision. Who is a better candidate for Solo to have his first loss to? Because at some point you have to have your first loss. And it's one of those things streaks can almost work in the opposite direction where they just get kind of annoying because it's harder to book someone when they can't lose, quote unquote. So I think that can be a challenge. So the way I look at it, I'm like, this was the perfect timing because it gave Cody that last final hurdle to show that, hey, Roman, I got through everything that I've had to put in front of me, and now it's you. And from Solo's perspective, it's like, look, man, your first loss was to a guy who beat Seth Rollins 3-0, a guy who's probably going to beat your fucking daddy there on Sunday and win that championship. So it's not a bad first loss to have. I didn't have any issue with it. You know, I was actually surprised by like the insane discourse. I was like, this is what we're arguing about, guys. It's one of those things. It's like, it'd be one thing if he went out and he lost to fucking Ludwig Kaiser, you know, if Solo lost to Ludwig Kaiser, my boy. But it's like he lost to Cody fucking Rhodes, the main event of WrestleMania, the biggest babyface in wrestling, the guy who's probably going to fucking dethrone the fucking one, man. So I had no issue with it.
So you've seen it on Twitter as well. He has his Cody Rhodes Custom Championship. The one thing that makes me completely nervous about this is we all want Cody to win. I would assume most of us, 99.9 maybe, want us to see Cody dethrone the tribal chief. Two things. It's almost like it's so blatant that it's not going to happen because they do that sometimes. And secondly, did you notice that the championship has no recognizable WWE logo on it?
Well, it's one of those things. I think my assumption is that once Cody wins, he's gonna debut in the fucking wing championship, whatever that he's always wanted to bring back. That's still my expectation, and I think as the year progresses, they'll add a new title. Because I mean, you can read whatever you want out of the rumor mill, but Triple H, it sounds like, just like myself, thinks the name Universal is a stupid fucking name. So we'll just get rid of that. Cody will probably just have like this WWE championship, and maybe we get the World Heavyweight Championship back, or something. There's obviously, these are all discussions that we'll be having down the road once we get through, no matter what, because we know eventually it's not going to be whoever wins carries around the two belts or whatever. We do anticipate down the line there being a split, or if they just keep it as one, it'll probably just be one. But yeah, it's one of those things, like, it's just, for me, you can say it's obvious, but at the same time it isn't, because I think they're trying to like build it up where, like, because there's a lot of people still being like, oh man, Roman's just going to do it. He's just going to hold this thing forever. They want him to get over the fucking milestone and all this. But to me, it's like, this is how WWE has had this scripted to end since the beginning. And I think they're going to stick with it because I think it's gone perfectly as planned. And I think, I mean, Roman's going to we're probably not going to see him for a bit. I think that's part of it. Whether that's obvious or not, but I think that's just how it's going to be. If Cody did not win on Sunday, it would be probably be a shock to me, but at the same time, it wouldn't be completely unexpected. So
you're not going to throw a hissy fit if he loses?
I mean, here's the thing. Once they get through that 1, 2, 3, I'm going to be crying either way. Let's just put it that way, man. The tears are going to be flowing. It's going to be joy or sadness, but either way, these eyes, they're going to be welling up and watering down my face.
I'm surprised you even know that song, to be honest with you. I mean, you only know it because it's super bad.
More than you think. Oh, man, that's good.
So you're going to lose your voice to your Fireball over there. I'm lost my voice because...
Fireball? Jesus, Nestle. This is not Fireball.
What's up, broadcast? I'm just saying, Lordy. I'll tell you right now. First off, I gotta say this comment. Also, Nestle's got to settle down on his makeup. His cheeks look very rosy. First off, my kids scratched my face tonight before bedtime, and I shaved. So now I just look like a doll.
Did you use some moisturizer, I hope?
Yeah, but my face is burning right now. So my throat's burning, my face is burning. This is the worst you'll ever see me. And super hot fire. Exactly. Go to tpublic.com/jobberknocker to buy all your t-shirts. And I get a Nestlemania t-shirt because it's WrestleMania season. And on top of that, here's what I'm freaking out about, JC. If I don't beat you and Joe, I'm 4 behind. I have to retire the predictions jacket. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I mean, you're not going to win. It's going to be me. And if it isn't me, it's going to be Joe. But I mean, you should have seen this guy all week in our chat be like, can we predict Ring of Honor? Can we predict this random card on TV? Can we do this? Trying to fucking improve his chances. Get the fuck out. You're done. You're done. You're done. It's over. JC's going to win. You're going to hear JC pick a perfect slew of predictions later in the show. I guarantee it. Not really, but we will pick perfect predictions in the show. And SmackDown ain't counting either. We ain't counting the Battle Royal. Isn't good enough to be on WrestleMania. So get the fuck out. But Nestlemania also in the shine. We do the same thing every week. We start with Cody, and then we go to guess who? Fucking Dom, baby. Because you know what? On Monday, when we finally got it. But we were wondering when this match was going to become official, but you hinted to it off the top. Dom finally got Ray to smack him, and it took him insulting his mom and calling her a deadbeat mom and insulting his sister and all that for Ray to finally snap. And we got our match, baby. And when I saw that fucking graphic, I was very excited.
I will say the result of him punching his son was, they said, one of the quickest YouTube views ever. It was like 12 million in under like 24 hours. I mean, people were just incensed and they wanted to watch it over and over and over again and again. And I think there's even a clip where there's every angle from every camera just on social, which we knew this was going to be a big deal. We know that it's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a great lead up. It's been 6 months of just nothing, blue balls. You finally get some release, an explosion of catastrophe, but it is awesome. It's awesome. And the one thing I wanted to say here was, I'm curious what happens now, because is the Hall of Fame just the Hall of Fame? Like, are we just going to leave it, or
I think
do we continue?
I assume Dom will have an interruption, but obviously I don't think it's going to be as blown up as maybe we originally thought since the match is actually made. But I feel like they'll probably do it where Ray will have his moment, and they'll either be like at the beginning or somewhere in the middle. There'll be a little Dom thing, and then they'll move on from it and finish it. But yeah, it's certain. I mean, I think they did do the right timing of doing it last week, because I think a lot of us, even though we knew the family was there, we were still expecting it to maybe take another week. And I think that's part of why it was so good. But that segment, I mean, I just can't say enough how good it was, with Ray slowly working his way over. And it's just like the literally that punch that we've been anticipating for weeks and months, like on end, just waiting for it. It's just like, man, this is fucking good. But I will say once again, I feel like that WrestleMania isn't the conclusion of this. I think it's part of it. And then I think we're going to take a break and probably revisit this, because I feel like this is still a longer thing, because I still think eventually, because I mean, Ray said he's not done anyways. He said, even though I'm going to the Hall of Fame, he's like, it doesn't mean I'm done. He's like, my number's always been 50. So take that as you will. Who knows? But it's also like, this Dom character is so good. And I think like when the conclusion of this Ray story happens, it's going to change the Dom character. And I don't know if we're ready for that yet. So for me, I see this as a sneaky, to spoiler my predictions later, probably a sneaky Dom win, but you could also be like a quick Ray one. It'll be interesting, but all I'm saying is I don't think this is the end of this feud. I think this is just the beginning.
That's a bold prediction considering like where we are, because maybe they ask Ray to just go away. You never know. Like you never know.
That's the thing. If Dom wins, I think Ray takes time off, and maybe he pops up again at SummerSlam for part 2. You know,
and maybe
Dom can go on his reign of terror, win Money in the Bank, cash in on Cody, become the world champion.
Jesus Christ,
JC's hopes come true. Wouldn't that be?
Oh my God.
A little soon for that, but
I sound like Sling Blade. But it's just, I don't know. But like the other thing I wanted to think about very quickly about this entire situation was the only thing that could have made this thing even better, and again, A+ effort, was I was hoping that when Dom came out on Monday, he was going to go, can you believe me? Can you believe that? He actually hit his son. He hit his son. What a deadbeat. Like I feel like he could have like melted.
He kind of said that. I mean, he said he wishes that he never existed and that Eddie was his dad.
Well, yeah, that one was rough. That was a great line. But, you know, you sit there and you think about it. You're like, oh man, like there's a shit heel, but he could have been like, you know, like, I can't believe he hit me. I can't believe he hit me. You know, he's my dad, you know? So like, I didn't deserve that. All I said was shut up, mom. You know, like everybody says, shut up, mom. You know, it's like, whatever. But yeah, but again, I'm excited to see what happens. I can't, the thing about WrestleMania that gets me so excited about this time around, JC, is there's a lot of things that can go either way. Yeah, and that's exciting as a fan where you can't call it. And that's where you don't have to sit here and Monday night quarterback or armchair quarterback or whatever you want to say. You're just going to enjoy it because it's going to take you on that ride that you want to be on. So I'm very excited for WrestleMania. I'm very excited for 85 to 90% of these matches.
I'm excited for every single match except for one. But we'll get there when we get to predictions. We're still in the shine, so we're not talking about that. But one of those matches that, you know what, I'm more excited for than that fucking clusterfuck we're not going to talk about is, you know what, Nestlemania? WrestleMania has become Chelsea Mania. Chelsea Green is headed to WrestleMania. She's part of the 4th team along with your girl, Sonya Deville, in the unhappy tag team to be the 4th team in the clusterfuck for the women. The clusterfuck for the men, as we know, was already booked. But I'm happy to see that someone like Chelsea Green going to WrestleMania for the first time.
This is where our boy Danny Grimwood comes out of the chat and says, you guys are assholes for loving Chelsea Green.
Hey, you know what?
But
she's great.
She
She's
is
gonna
great.
probably end up getting the shit beat out of her by Ronda and Shayna in this match too. But hey,
yeah, but you know what? Who fucking
she gets to
cares?
walk down that ramp and wrestle at WrestleMania, baby. Oh, so good.
Just when she does the whole like the revolution of the shush, I'm in. I'm in. I love it. And the fact that like I'm bummed out Carmella's either got an injury and illness.
Sounds
Hopefully
like she has an injury. Yeah.
that blows because she's great. But they found a suitable replacement. I think Sonya's pretty good.
Suitable. I see what you did there.
A suitable replacement, yes.
Honestly, it worked out quite well because with all the Adam Pearce stuff, the other big thorn in Adam Pearce's side the entire year has been Sonya Deville. So it made sense to have the Complainer Club, be the tag team. So it actually worked out, honestly.
No, I tend to agree with you. So again, I'm very excited because Chelsea Green gets to be at WrestleMania. I mean, she deserves it. She really deserves it. And Danny's apparently on an island here because Bertsky and Aaron...
No. Check the chat. Did you see what Danny said? Put it up.
What?
Put it up. Don't tell anyone, but Chelsea is growing on me. So, because Bertsky and Aaron said they're part of the Chelsea Stan Club, as we all are. But with Danny, we're not going to tell anyone. We're just going to put it on the screen and point at it. It's good, man. It's the same thing as like a Grayson Waller and some of these guys that are really annoying. At first, you despise it, Big Body Javi, but the more you see it, you're like, God damn it, it's good. And then Chelsea's got in that category.
Big Body Javi is he's such a great little shit. Like, I can't say enough good things about him.
He was in the Battle Royal. We can talk about NXT later. Do you have any other shine from this?
There's a lot of things that I'm excited about. Just quick things. I'm not going to get into big things. I'm surprised Cena's kicking off Mania. I think that's a great way to start off the entire 2 nights. You like that stick and you let it go. A Hollywood guy starting in Hollywood. It makes perfect sense. I think we're going to start off incredibly hot there. I'm really excited for all of that stuff. I was boned up, as we say. Danny's going to give me, a round of applause here. Danny continues to think I'm an international shamer, but Butch versus Gunther on SmackDown had my pants off. Like
I wanted more though, man. With what we've seen out of those two guys in their history, I was like, oh, this is such a tease.
I was sitting there
going to commercials and shit. Oh.
The minute he jumped the table, I was like, oh, righty. And then we came back from commercial and I went, yeah. It was great. It was awesome. And I just love that entire thing. I'm trying to think anything else that you have. Do you have anything else?
I mean, KO gave Sammy a t-shirt and the Usos attacked them.
So you're going to downplay this, but I'm glad you brought this up because I think this is worth talking about here.
Oh, it's part of the story. I think it's great, but for me, it was just like I was already there. So
no, I know, and I think that's the other thing too is like they took a moment with the way that Roman gave him his t-shirt being the honorary Us, and they redid it in a different way, which I think is kudos to them. A very small detail, but they made it something memorable. Again, not as big as the first t-shirt thing. We know that. But at the same time, the fact that it's not the name on the back, it's the name on the front, and we didn't even put it together, WrestleZania, that's awesome. But it showed that he was the MVP of the entire year. It showed that this is his moment. KO's helping him get the moment. It's Sami Zayn's moment, and the other 3 people are kind of around that moment. So I'm really excited for him. I did love, because I've watched PWG, so I've seen them come up from nothing. And then, in LA, and doing all that in the Reseda and just all that awesome stuff. So to see them and know how insane they were in Ring of Honor as a tag team too, what they're going to do to the Usos. And at some point, we're going to get a TLC match or a ladder match with Sami Zayn and KO as tag champions. They are going to delight us every way through, but that I'm looking for on my calendar when it happens.
Against Christian and Edge, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, if you, we're not going to get into that. We don't talk about dirt sheets. We're allergic to dirt sheets. We have clean sheets.
Let's just say we'll be keeping an eye on the Edge entrance to see if there's any truth to that. Because me, as a peep searcher, I'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, this was like the worst hand signal of all time, in my opinion. It's like,
it's not great, but
you know what I mean. I'm just saying.
Can do no
another thing I wanted to point out in we can talk about this, but I just want again honorable mentions in the shine here. Io finally getting a singles match on Raw and showing how fucking amazing she is. I was sitting there going, oh my God, like this woman needs to be a singles wrestler. She just needs to be able to do her own fucking thing. Because when I watched her, I was like, she was one of my favorite people to watch. And I forgot for the last 6 to 10 months where she wasn't doing anything and she hasn't really done much. She's shown like 1% of her entire aerial arsenal. Like I couldn't help myself. I was enamored with the idea of being like, let's break this bitch away from this terrible fucking anchor and let's let her fucking fly. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm excited about.
She is the genius of the sky. And you should stay tuned to my hope later because maybe she's kind of related to it.
Related.
There's a tease.
Related. I'm trying to go through the rest of this.
I got nothing else that's worth talking about.
The only thing I would say is I really enjoyed the packages where they just said, you know, like they had the people talking about other things. I think that would be great. You know, like when other wrestlers were hyping up other wrestlers for their importance of their matches in those packages. It was very UFC. And I think Triple H has a fucking boner to be WWE to be UFC every single time. So they kind of stole it, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get heaty? Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him. I'm going to cough. Get him off my TV.
Get him off his TV. God damn it.
God damn it.
Nestlemania, I'm looking at my notes. I have one thing in the heat because the rest of it is just like, you know what? It's fine. But there's one thing this week that was trash. And I think you know what it was.
I want you to just lay out and do it, bud.
Yeah, because you need a sip. The opening segment of Raw, that shit was hot poopy garbage. I just like I cannot wait for this fucking absolute fucking shit bum of a fucking 6-woman tag to be over with because Becky, damn it, I mean, Trish looked great. I mean, we all saw the clips and the slow-mos, like still got it, but good God, man, this match, this feud, this lead up, this everything, it just for me, it is the only thing on the WrestleMania card that I will not be excited to watch because even like I said, the nonsense like showcase matches, like at least those will be fun. They're going to be quick and they have some more of our favorites mixed in, get an opportunity. This one, it's like, I mean, I can try to be like, yeah, there's a lot of our favorites in this match. Yeah, there's a lot of talent in this match. Yeah, it's awesome to see Trish and Lita again, but at the same time, it's just like the freaking black cloud over this feud and like these like just everything and the tag titles aren't being defended, but they're part of this match for people that might never defend. Just it's. Everything about this is just bad. And that segment was the perfect representation of it because it was in honor of baseball coming back tomorrow. MLB thumbs down, guy.
I don't have much more to say about it except that
it's bad.
Becky said everything we were all thinking about Damage Control.
That is true. Cheers to you, Becky.
That was the only positive there. Yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to think of other things that made me upset. Let me look real quick. Charlotte getting whatted. That was brutal on SmackDown.
Before, man.
She was trying to do a babyface promo. She's just not a babyface, folks. She's just not like, good at it.
Why? Like, that is, to me, it's just like, why? Charlotte doesn't need a promo like that because she's fucking Charlotte Flair. So when I think part of it is obviously like when you get some of these crowds, like with Charlotte, it's just like she's polarizing. She's going to get that response anyways. But like, she's not someone who needs this promo, and we know it's fucking like, even if it is her really trying to speak from the heart, it just like it doesn't translate because we see it feels too forced and bullshitted. It's like we know Charlotte's a star. We know like she's the good guy in this feud against Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley's still fucking cool. So it's gonna be a mixed thing. It was a bad decision to do it. So again, I'm sure it was. I don't know. Maybe it was partly Charlotte's idea, maybe it wasn't, but I just think the idea to do it would be my biggest heat with that because how did they not know this was going to happen?
I don't disagree with you. And you know, the deal over here says, you know, we don't have a bad Mania match because we can be thankful for not seeing Nia Jax. Now,
what if she shows up though? I don't know where. But.
I don't know. So Aaron, to be honest with you, I still sit with this. The 6-woman tag is my piss break.
That's the only match I don't care.
That's the only match I will get up for and go get.
I'll watch the entrances, but after that, that's my piss break.
I mean, this match can't be more than 10 minutes, in my opinion. It can't. It can't be. There might be Gaga afterwards, and we can talk about that. But you know, I'm just.
What if this match started and immediately Nia Jax came out and cleared the ring, and the match ended? Would that get her over with all of us?
I hope she just screams, "Oh, my butthole!" again. That was my favorite thing she's ever done. Because you know that's not the first time she said it. Like Todd Graham said, he wants to fuck that bitch.
Oh my.
Todd loves the big women. So
good.
Nia Jax, if you're looking for somebody, Todd Graham, go look him up. Sorry, try to get my friend laid on this program.
I'm the one drinking, not even. That's the best part.
Yeah. If I was drinking,
I've got his big thing on water. Yeah, if I had something that big, I'd be on the floor by now.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a rough night for everybody.
I'm just trying to get my throat as raspy as yours. That's my goal.
Yeah, well, there's another way you can do it. Anyway, moving on. Here's something else that really bothered me, and it was just like, why the fuck is this on TV? It was Natty and like Shotzi against Lacey and Zaya, and it was just like, you already just gave all the men just this fucking spot. Just give him a fucking spot. Like, what are we doing here? It was stupid from the get-go. It was a short match. And then on top of that, Ronda gets to come out with fucking a bad arm and fucking, Shayna, who's actually a decent promo. And they're like, we're just in it. And I'm just like, of course. What are we doing here?
No, this is why it should be in your heat, because this is a Nestle thing that you should have brought up, is that we just saw Natty in a tag team with Tegan, so she should be in the tag team, but instead they put her with Emma the week before to lose to Liv and Raquel. So if your complaint for the heat should be, where's the fucking continuity?
I mean, let's be honest here. There's no continuity when it comes to this tag team division. So
there's no continuity in the women's booking at all in WWE or AEW. Like WWE does a better job, but it's still not good. And the WrestleMania feud's leading it, and it's a bigger issue that we can discuss at another time.
Yeah, we have too much to talk about here. It is what it is. Moving on. Is there anything else? I mean, I'm trying to look. There was an 8-man tag nobody cared about. Babyfaces win. Whatever. I think that's pretty much it. The only thing that I kind of like scratched my head on here, just a little bit, and again, very, very, very small potatoes in an A+ feud, was Heyman not really implying that like Solo was going to soften him up, but did soften him up, and that Roman needed to stoop to that level. But like, I get what they were going. Like, the end result makes sense. Like, yeah, he's terrified that Cody actually will do it. But like the way that it was executed for me felt like it was not an A+ effort.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. That's just me.
I got my Cody goggles on right now. So
yes.
Anything touching Cody or the Bloodline right now, I got my Cody and Bloodline like glasses. They're literally they're like Cody Rhodes' face, but there's like blood dripping on it for the Bloodline, and just it's anything Cody or Bloodline right now. I can't see flaws. So.
Yes, Doc. Yes, you did lose your Solo undefeated talk because JC put it to bed.
Yeah, I thought I reiterate, who better for fucking Solo to get his first loss to than fucking Superman, superhero, fucking good guy Homelander fucking winning the title.
The Codelander.
There's nobody better for Solo to lose to. That's why I was just shocked with this. It's like the dude's got to lose at some point. He lost to the top guy, fucking 3-0'd Seth Rollins. Hasn't lost since he come back. Fucking Royal Rumble winner. Fucking main event in WrestleMania. Fucking gonna pin Roman Reigns and fucking put it in his booty and raise those fucking titles with his fucking shoulder that hopefully he doesn't rip out again. Yeah.
I did not think put it in the booty was going to be a thing you'd say tonight.
Either. It just kind of came out.
Okay. All right. Do you want to get hopeful?
Yeah. Glorious. You're my only hope. Would you like to go first or would you like me?
I can go first if you like.
Go for it.
I'll go it short and sweet because I got to save my pipes like Michael Jackson. So I was thinking about this, the Andre Memorial Battle Royal. When I was thinking about this, I thought there's a lot of studs in this matchup that should win this fucking thing.
Shelton Benjamin, I agree.
There's also Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
There's also Bobby. There's also LA. There's also all these things. I personally believe what's going to end up happening in this thing, because it's not a foregone conclusion that he's actually not showing up to WrestleMania, is I want to see it, even though I was told I'll never see it again. Bobby Lashley wins the goddamn Battle Royal. Lights go out, and we get the Fiend. That's what I want. And if I do that, if I get that, I'm going to fucking lose my voice on Friday, and Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be hoarse. Like just non-existent, baby, because I think the only way you can get me excited for Bray Wyatt to come back ever, or even beyond my TV, is with the Fiend. He was the only money character he's ever done, and Bobby Lashley's money. You can't kick him off of Mania. He's been too fucking studly the whole fucking year. So I think this is what we got to do. We got to fucking have Bobby Lashley win this goddamn thing. We got to have the Fiend, because the Fiend's the only believable character that could beat Bobby Lashley.
I kind of like that. I didn't see that coming, and I'm kind of glad you brought this up here, because this Battle Royal will not be part of our predictions, but can you throw up Doc's comment there? Because he says, I want Boogs to win. Well, guess what, Doc? He's actually my pick. The way they've teased this and the way they've done this the last couple of years, I feel like it's going to be similar to like the Madcap thing, where it's just like, you know, he's kind of following Elias around, learning notes, and he's going to probably win this fucking thing by accident. He has the look. We know that Triple H and Vince love the fucking big burly man and all that. It'd be a nice little way to put him on the map. So Boogs is my official pick. I think Bobby's an obvious one, but I think him and LA Knight, I think something's happening there, because I think that might be added to Saturday or Sunday, but Boogs is my prediction to win. So Lashley is yours and Boogs is mine. We got big meaty men.
I would also like to pick Boogs, but I know that you already picked him, so now I just look like I'm.
No, this doesn't count for anything. This is just
I
our thing.
I think it's pretty obvious that they're hoping for Boogs. Like it makes sense, like you said. But if I was booking it and I wanted the Fiend to come back, which I'm praying to fucking God because this other shit has been just literally shit's creek the whole fucking time with fucking Bray Wyatt, and I've made excuse after excuse for how wonderful he is. I'm sure he's an amazing human
He's
being.
wonderful, but his shit was boring when he came
This
back.
stuff is so bad, and I want him to succeed in the worst way possible. And this convoluted bullshit sucks. So the Fiend was my bread and butter. That's why the Detective Nestle was born, because of the Fiend. So I just want him to continue so I can put the fucking hat back on. Because without this jacket, I'm nobody. What am I gonna do? I can't detect. I can't investigate. I can't predict. What the fuck am I gonna do?
You're kind of nobody with it, but it's time for my hope. My hope is that, well, I can hope for a lot of things, but mine is something very specific. So my assumption is that Asuka is going to become champion at WrestleMania, which means she'll probably come out for a celebration sesh on the Monday, the Raw after Mania. And you know what, Nestlemania? There's somebody very interesting who happened to become a free agent last week. She takes voyages across the sea. She also has the greatest elbow drop off the top rope in WWE history. And I mentioned Io earlier. She was also in a tag team with Io Sky in NXT called the Sky Pirates, which were amazing, but they didn't call up Io. They only called up Kyrie. So her tag team partner became Asuka and the Kabuki Warriors, who are one of my favorite women tag teams of all time. But that's right, Nestlemania. I want Asuka to be interrupted by Kairi Sane in her return to WWE. We obviously saw her most recently wrestling Mercedes Moné and losing her IWGP Women's Championship to Mercedes. So, and Kairi tweeted last week she's a free agent, and I'm ready for it because Kairi Sane is amazing. She has a lot to offer still in wrestling. She's capable of having banners with absolutely anyone on the roster. And my God, I just want to see her open a treasure chest with a title in it again. So Kairi Sane interrupts Asuka, possibly setting up a feud or something there, or an alliance or something. I don't care. I don't need to get that deep in it, but that's my hope. Is I want Kairi Sane back in WWE. I think the perfect time to do it is the Raw after Mania. Do it against Asuka. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. And we're gonna go on a fantastic
You don't even know the words, do you?
I know no words to anything. It's Fantastic Voyage.
Fantastic
yes.
slides. This is where Joe Pollock, my boy, the Joe Stopper, would be like, he'd do the whole thing. 90s hip hop is his fucking jam.
I know Gangster's Paradise way better than Fantastic Voyage, like in terms of words. But I think I like Fantastic Voyage better. So
Coolio is
the Coolio. That's why I say Coolio instead of cool.
So I got to tell you, listen, Keenan and Kel, that fucking show wouldn't have rocked as hard as with that fucking theme by Coolio. Just saying, just throwing it out there. I'm halfway through without any water, and I'm not going to have anybody fetch it for me, so I'm fucked for the rest of this entire thing. All right, so it's time to get our comeback on before we get to all of our shit that we're going to talk about. My comeback goes to Positively Ali because I just couldn't stop laughing at that backstage promo. He finally has a character. He finally shit a brick when he thought he had to face Seth Rollins, and I thought, here's a guy that was two-dimensional that we all prayed was going to have something three-dimensional. At least this is a crumb. At least this is something to look forward to after WrestleMania going forward. His ceiling is what it is, but I thought to myself, I can really snack on this character being a B, maybe a C or D feud on Raw where it's perfect. He could even combine with the models and stuff like that. There's just so many avenues with this character that I can already, as a person that books, as a person that has to do a lot of wrestling creative, I'm sitting there going, oh, I can do something with this in my mind. So I can imagine people who are getting paid far more than me can figure it out too. So here's hoping he does something, because otherwise just ship him off to AEW and let him fucking wrestle like everybody else.
On Dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to get negative, Ali, because I'm not there yet, but I do think it is a positive step in the right direction for something, but I'm not there yet. My comeback, Nestlemania, is going to a future, as in 2 days, Hall of Famer, and that is the greatest legs in wrestling history. My girl, my favorite from my childhood, Stacy Keibler, absolute stud, part of some of my favorite storylines of all time. I loved her with the Dudleys, loved her with Scott Steiner and Test, loved her on her own too, but Stacy did it all, and I think she's very deserving of this. She was a stud. She was part of that big three with Trish and Tori there with the blondes that everyone loved growing up for our age group and stuff, so I'm happy to see her back. I'm excited for her speech. She's kind of been off the grid for a long time, just raising her family, whatever. So it's kind of cool to see her back in the spotlight and get a little honor here as one of the, one of the OGs of the women's division. So Stacy Keibler, you get my comeback.
You know how I feel.
Yeah,
so.
You're fucking
doesn't deserve it. Doesn't
deserve
it.
it.
Doesn't deserve it.
Because here's your issue: is you're treating a Hall of Fame like it fucking matters. Hall of Fames, like they're not. That's not how they work.
It's bullshit
There's no
anyway.
Hall of Fames
Who
that
cares?
are good. All fucking Hall of Fames are bullshit. So it's good to see good people who impacted the business get an opportunity to be acknowledged for being good people who impacted the business. It's the most positive thing that can be. So no wonder you fucking hate it. I'm not surprised. But Nestlemania, big, old, finish. We already talked about the SmackDown bullshit. So we don't need to talk about that because it'll be packages and then there'll be the Battle Royal and yada, yada, yada. Nestlemania, it is time for us. We're going to get to WrestleMania because that's going to be a lot. But first up, we have to stand and deliver the greatest predictions for NXT in 2023. And as we look at the Stand and Deliver card, which is hosted by Pretty Deadly, there are 7 matches in Wrestlemania. So we're in for it on Saturday here. First up, we're going to start with the freshly minted, freshly signed main event of last night's NXT, a match that is not quite sanctioned. It's actually an unsanctioned match, and that is Mr. NXT himself, Johnny Takeover, taking on the future stud of the world, Grayson Waller, the arrogant Aussie, and one of my favorite wrestlers on the planet. Nestlemania, this is an interesting match to pick because we could go with Johnny Gargano, who's Mr. NXT, and has wins at so many takeovers and done it all. Or we go with the unstud Grayson Waller, who probably doesn't need a win because it probably won't affect him either way, but it could be a giant feather in his cap as he continues his elegant career. So this was one of the harder ones for me to predict, Nestlemania. But you know what? I'll go first on this one. I'll go first on this one. How about this? And you know what? I can be kind of arrogant and stubborn with my predictions. So even though I don't fully believe it, I'm picking with my fucking heart, my big, fat, Aussie, arrogant heart, and that is Grayson Waller will defeat Johnny Gargano, have his major moment, and then Johnny can just go back to Raw and hang out with Dexter and Candice.
Okay. So Johnny Takeover, he's on Monday, he's on Friday, he's on Saturday, Sunday, probably.
And you're trying to tell me he isn't a success.
Well, no,
guy's everywhere.
That's just, he's a general success, just existing, I guess, at this point. I'm going to pick Johnny Gargano because it just says...
Because you're a super fan.
Yes, I'm a super fan. I can't wait for this to be 45 fucking minutes, by the way. I'm going to lose. The longer this match goes, the less hair I'm going to have. I can guarantee it. This is a fucking love letter to Shawn Michaels. I'm sure of it because they can't fucking help but jerk themselves off every goddamn time there's a fucking Johnny Gargano match. So I hope he fucking shows up in fucking cowboy boots and jeans, just like 2002, like HBK versus Triple H. I fucking would die laughing because this just screams fucking jerk off time for Johnny. It just does. So, you know what? It's unsanctioned, just like that entire match in 2002, excuse me. I expect Johnny to fucking do this and actually just do amazing stuff. Because when he has time, he's great. But the presentation on Raw's been terrible. The music's terrible. NXT's where he should have stayed. The end.
It's tough. Everyone's going to move on sometimes, put up or shut up. I still think he'll be fine long term. They just got to figure out WrestleMania season. And like I said, the timing of bringing all those people back, not the best, but this match is going to fucking bang. And we disagree on the first one, which is good. A good way for me to increase my lead over you. Next up, we have the Nestlemania special, the 8-person mixed tag match, playa, where the winner gets control of Chase University. We have Chase University of Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, and Thea Hale, along with Tyler Bate, the honorary member, taking on the schism of Joe Gacy, Jagger Reed, Rip Fowler, and Ava Raine, who will be making her NXT in-ring debut, I believe. So that's kind of the big headliner here for me in this one. Again, this one's another tough one because I would love to see a world where Schism has control of the university, but it also feels like it's a big fucking pep rally for Chase U. I'll let you go first on this one.
I've already seen what Chase U can be. I'm intrigued by what the Schism's version of that university will be.
Same.
And again, you've already gone down that alley. Honestly, you've only gone as far as you can with Chase U in that direction. Seeing what it looks like in a different set of, you're breathing new life into it. So I'm picking Schism.
Yeah, I think I am too. Again, this is another one I don't feel great about, but it's another one that I want. So 2 straight predictions, picking with my heart. We move right along here to a triple threat match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. It was almost a fatal 4-way, but instead we just got a kiss. But we got the D'Angelo family, Tony D'Angelo, and Channing Stacks Lorenzo taking on the Creed brothers of Brutus and Julius, who will have Ivy Nile flanking them, as well as the champions, Gallus of Mock Coffee and Wolfgang. Nestlemania, you know what I say about triple threats? It's an easy way for the champions to retain. So give me the Gallus boys, because I feel like we're headed to a Gallus Creed feud anyways.
I tend to agree with you because Gallus just got those things right. So
Yeah.
what's the fucking point of taking it off of them so far? They haven't really done anything with them anyway. So they've been drinking in a bar, being buddy Sheamus light, essentially. So let them have it for a while.
We move along once again to a match that I think a lot of people are anticipating to be one of the show stealers of the weekend, and that is the Fatal 5-Way match for the NXT North American Championship. You want to talk about athleticism, you've got it in this match. Wesley, the champion, defends against a debuting Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Ilya Dragunov, and now Axiom, the mathematician, who has the worst gimmick in wrestling, but is damn fucking good in that ring. This is an interesting one, Nestlemania, because I'm not sure if it's elimination or if it's single fall, but it kind of feels like it's single fall. So that makes me think that Wesley isn't getting pinned here, but he's losing that title. And man, I feel like it's not going to be Dragon Lee because he's just debuting and he doesn't have to be part of the fall. But it really does feel like to me that this could be a moment for JD McDonough to kind of get something here at NXT, and kind of because it feels like there's a lot of baby faces that could be chasing him, and it feels like he's probably not headed back to the main event scene yet. So I'm going to go with my hope from last week or the week before and pick the upset here and go with JD McDonough to win the NXT North American Championship.
You know, in my head, as I was listening to you, I thought to myself, did the Ilya or JD, because I feel like they're definitely where they are for a reason. They're on TV every week. Axiom, it doesn't matter if you give him a championship, don't fucking like him. It's over for me. Dragon Lee, like you said, still brand spanking new. Wesley's done a great job. So I don't want to pick JD because you did, but I feel like it's a safer bet. It's a safer bet because I want Ilya in the worst way to win, because I just love the insanity of the way he just viciously comes out and shoves his fucking fingers in the air. But yeah, it's got to be JD McDonough.
Wow. I would not expect you to agree with me on that because I thought I was going on a limb, but maybe I'm not as much of a limb as I thought. Next up, we have a tag team match player for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Fallon Henley and Kiana James, who have had their issues but are the champions, will be flanked by Briggs and Jensen. Will be taking on the, what do you want to call these? Like the Soul Sucking Sisters, the Fire Sisters, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. This match to me seems like the most obvious one, which means there might be some bullshit going on, but it feels like Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are the easiest pick on this card, and that's my pick.
I'm going with the Fire bitches. Moving on.
No analysis. I like it. Next up, we have a ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship. We got 2 new members added. One was very impressive, and the other was very heartfelt. We now have Roxanne Perez, who will be defending her championship in this ladder match against Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyra, and the impressive Indy Hartwell. Nestlemania. There's a lot of options here. I'm curious who you think's taking this one.
To me, it is not going to be Roxanne. I just think it's not going to happen. I think that they gave it to her because they had to with the Mandy situation. That's fine. But I think she's a better babyface chasing than she is defending. And I want to see a real good heel here. So you've got Zoe, you've got Tiffany, and those are the only 2 I can pick. Now, I don't like Zoe Stark. She's worse than a sleeping bag. She might as well just be a fucking potato to me. But Guthrie will have a fucking orgasm. So good for Guthrie if she fucking wins. Guthrie, you pick fucking potatoes. Anyway, I'm picking Tiffany Stratton. Analysis complete.
I think Tiffany Stratton should be the favorite to win in this match. I think that's a good pick, but I'm picking Roxanne to retain. I felt like she obviously clearly had something going on, which is an easy way to run her off TV, but I think the plan was always to get her back in here. And I think, they really went heavy on the anxiety angle with Shawn Michaels in that scene. So it's one of those things. It's like, it's so hard to book babyface champions, especially like someone like Roxanne, who's so young and so new and has accomplished all these things as someone being so young that so it's very easy for the like some of the crowd to maybe turn on that because it feels like she's being handed it, even though she's clearly earned it with how good she is. So I think this was a slam dunk way to kind of like get more of that sympathy for the babyface. So for me, I'm picking Roxanne Perez because I think the moment is all about her holding up. Because I think this is when she was probably supposed to win that title originally from Mandy. It obviously got moved up a little because of what went on there.
Because she touched herself, yeah. So anyway, one thing I wanted to say very quickly is, would you laugh or think this was a good ending to the fucking match? Because she had a dizzy spell and fell down. Imagine she's fucking climbing that ladder, gets to the fucking ladder, and then just fucking passes out.
Oh, they're gonna tease something with it where she's like,
because I feel like that's the finish, is like she fucking passes out.
I think she overcomes it this time though. That's okay. I feel like it because I think there's something about the visual of her climbing the ladder, of overcoming her anxiety to getting it. To me, that's where I look at it. I mean, who knows? Like you said, this is a very easy way to get the title away from her, 100%, and get it onto someone like Stratton, who's a fucking rocket ship heel as well. So that'll be interesting. But Nestlemania, we have one match left where we have to stand and deliver our predictions, and that is the main event, and that is the singles match, the anticipated one-on-one match for the NXT Championship between Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes, the two faces of NXT 2.0, and Nestlemania. A lot of us, I feel like it's time. It's time for Mello, but is it?
I'm going to pick my boy. I'm picking him. I've watched this motherfucker be starting as a Michael Jackson impersonator. I was sitting next to him behind a curtain talking to him about life once. Like, I've seen this kid fucking grow. Like, that's my guy. Like, that guy deserves the fucking world. It's his fucking time. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Represent Boston, represent New England. You're the fucking man. Let's do it.
Yeah, I agree. Give me Mello. Mello don't miss. It's time. I think Braun, whether he's ready or not, I think he's up sooner rather than later. It's just one of those things. I think the offices are just going to want it. And I also think it's at this point with his NXT reign, it's like, what else can he do down there? This is the guy for him to pass the torch to. It makes sense. So give me Mello. He don't miss. That does it for Stand Deliver Wrestlemania. It's time for our WrestleMania predictions. And, Nestlemania. We're talking about WrestleMania here, buddy, not you. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, fool. But as of now, we're recording on a Wednesday night. So maybe when you listen to this, you might know more than we do. But as of now, there are 6 matches listed for night 1. There is 1 match listed for night 2. And then there are 6 matches that are to be determined which night they are. So we are going to do our best to go in some sort of order. But we will start with the 6 matches that are booked for night 1. And as we know what the opener is going to be. And that is the United States Championship. Austin Theory defending against John Cena, baby. Nestlemania, this is a big one. This is an interesting one. This could be the biggest win of Austin Theory's career, or it could just be more of the same with Cena burying young stars at WrestleMania. You know what? I have to believe that this is Theory's time, that this is the moment. But man, it's weird because it's one of those things. It's like, could I see John Cena win that U.S. title and then maybe like lose it the next night, or maybe he comes back to wrestles Backlash, wherever that is, or something? I could see it, but I have to have faith that, you know what? We made the joke about Cena, the same jokes we make about Charlotte now. We made the jokes about Cena for years. And back then, he deserved to beat all those guys. But at this point in time, man, we saw Theory do the deed last year for people at WrestleMania. He did it for McAfee, and he did it for Stone Cold pretty much too. So I think this is time for the guy that you took away his money in the bank from him and made him look like an idiot. Cash in on that mid-card title. The one he now holds. This has to be the make good to me, where Austin Theory gets a clean fucking win over John fucking Cena and stamps himself as one of the futures of this business. So give me A-Town down for the big dub to kick off WrestleMania.
I don't know if it's going to be clean, but I pick in Theory. I think that
clean was a stretch. I agree.
I think the issue here is that John Cena fucking buried him. And John Cena, this is the only, and again, Theory's not even in the fucking neighborhood of the comparison I'm making right now. But when he shit talked The Undertaker for weeks and weeks and weeks for WrestleMania 34, and there was no sign of The Undertaker, he basically had to carry that feud the entire way. And then you hear the stories of like Undertaker being like, oh, I was ready for a 45-minute match with John Cena. And John Cena said, no, man, I talked so much shit about you. I should fucking lose real quick. So like in my head, the equation is if he fucking said that to that guy, why wouldn't he do it for Theory? So I'm picking Theory as well.
Yeah, no, it feels like it has to be. But then again, we both might be wrong because Cena winning one more time would be cool. It's just the title being on the line makes it tough for me to pick that.
And I've seen the photoshops of the new title where he won it for the first time, and they photoshopped it in from 20 and whatever. And again, anybody in the chat, tell us what you think. If you think we're wrong, we're assholes. If you have points, predictions, let us know because I'm curious. There's got to be stuff we haven't been assholes. Well, yeah, obviously,
that's
but I'm just trying to think of like what we're missing here because people are, they all have different perspectives here. So I'm curious what everybody thinks.
Well, speaking of curious, that takes us to our next definitely night one match, and this is a big one, Nestlemania. Seth freaking Rollins takes on Logan Paul in a feud that we have been ready for since the Royal Rumble. This one has lived up, but I will say, because this was going around the internet too, and I tend to agree, the worst set of moving graphics I've ever seen for a match. Like, so bad. I still love them. But this one by far, I saw somebody said it perfectly. They said, I never thought that you were capable of making moving graphics suck, but Seth Rollins and Logan Paul pulled it off. They're not great, but to me, that makes it even better because this is a big one for me. Because Seth, obviously, we know Logan, a lot of times with these quote-unquote celebrities, like you said last year, they always win. But the other part of that coin is Logan considered a celebrity anymore because he's done several matches now. And it's also like this feels like a big chance as Seth, the guy who's going to be standing around. This is a big launching pad for him, especially if his buddy there wins the title to set that up down the line. So I'm going to go on a limb on this one, Nestlemania. I'm taking Seth Rollins to pick up the win. I'm picking against the celebrity. I think he pins Logan Paul. I think this match, though, is going to be an absolute banger.
I also am picking Seth Rollins because I think here's the thing. He hasn't gotten his yet.
Yes.
And I think that's an important distinction here is he hasn't been able to fucking put him down. And that's part of the story. So the babyface has to overcome something. He's done it the whole time where he's eaten shit for years. This is his time to fucking get his more eyes on this match, more eyes on Seth Rollins. It's a fucking slam dunk. Seth Rollins wins this one.
So we go from the highest of highs match where we got to predict this match at some point. It looks to be a night one match. The 6-woman tag match where Trish Stratus and the tag team champions of Lita and Becky Lynch take on Damage Control of Bayley, Dakota, and Io Sky. I'm going to be short and sweet because I have no interest in talking about this. I think Becky pins Bayley. Give me the baby faces.
All right. So here's my problem. It can go either way.
Where do you start? There's a lot of problems with this match.
Well, it's a Damage Control problem.
And it's not a Marina Shafir problem in this one.
No, of course not. I don't fear her at all. But here's the other thing.
You should. She could actually kick your ass.
I'm sure she could, but guess what? That'd be assault. So keep going. Anyway, here's the thing that I wanted to talk about very quickly, JC, is we all know that the end result is supposedly going to be Trish turns on Becky and there's a heel turn and that there's going to be a setup for WrestleMania and all that jazz. Now, it could happen in the match. It could happen after the match. It could happen later on in another Raw when maybe that's how they lose their tag titles or something like that. But it's going to be a rough one. I feel like Damage Control has been so piss poor
that they give him something here. I can see it.
So I'm going to pick Damage Control against my better judgment because this is a toss-up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care to debate this match, so we're just going to move on because I don't want to talk about it anymore. Because I want to talk about one of the biggest matches on the card, another singles match, which apparently is night one. I did not know this, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the second match of the card because this guy likes to get in and out and have a steak dinner if he ain't main event, and that's Brock Lesnar taking on Omos with MVP. Homo sapiens, rise. All you homophobes, sit the fuck down. This match is going to bang. It's going to be a job. Boom, boom, boom. Meaty men snacking meat. But you know what? I feel like Brock Lesnar wins this thing because eventually he gets that Nigerian giant on his shoulders for a fucking monstrous F5. And Brock Lesnar gets his big babyface moment at WrestleMania like he deserves. Because Omos just stepping foot in the ring with Brock Lesnar, that's a win. He don't need the win. So give me Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate, to pick up the win.
I'm going to talk myself out of this entire thing because I agree with you. Brock Lesnar was my pick before I started talking. But if you believe that he is leaving, the honorable thing to do is to put somebody else over. He's a businessman. As long as he's getting fucking paid, who does he fucking care,
He's
right?
never done that before, though. Brock Lesnar always fucking wins and then goes away. Usually he takes the title with him for 6 months.
I know, but he lost to Roman. He lost to Roman again. It's like every match he fucking has.
Okay, let's look at the common denominator. It's Roman.
Yeah, but he lost to Bobby, sorta. You know
that
what
was
I mean?
recent. Hey, you know what? Pick Omos, but I can't see it. This to me is, if we were making fucking locks of the cards, this is my lock, is Brock Lesnar beating Omos.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you
lock
sure?
it up. Him and Cody, lock them up.
Here's my other issue with this, right? Like, if Brock Lesnar is leaving, what does that do for Omos?
He was in the fucking ring with Brock Lesnar. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's one of those things. It's like this is how you put someone on the map. He had his match last year with Bobby Lashley, and his match this year with Brock Lesnar. He's moving up. Next year, it'll probably be Omos and Cody in the main event, you know? Homo sapiens rise.
But you're all about Omos, but you won't pick him.
I love Omos. Why would I pick him? It's a dumb pick. Brock Lesnar's winning. Lock. JC, lock of the night. Brock Lesnar. Nestle's picking Omos.
I don't know if I can, though. I don't know.
Oh my God. Do it, you fucking coward.
No, I'm picking Brock. Here's the thing.
You should take off that jacket now because you're a coward.
I'm going to lose by 1, and this is going to be the reason. You
deserve it because it'd be representative of your reign. Cowardly. Next up, apparently both women's title matches are night 1. I did not see that coming, but the singles match for the WWE Raw Women's Championship, she's on her own against the wall, and she's defending against Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow, who might be the Empress today at WrestleMania, and that's who I'm picking. Give me Asuka.
You're picking Asuka. I think that's a slam dunk. That's a lock for me.
That's the Nessa lock? Oh, boy. I don't have to flip-flop.
Go ahead. I think Asuka's a slam dunk here, but I think it's easy money because, again, we haven't seen what Belair can do once she loses. Like, let's see that for a while. Let's see her not be a champion for a while.
I think it's also like this is the last person that I can see for now beating her. So I think it makes sense. But that leaves us. We get to the 6th match that we know is definitely night 1. It is the alleged main event, and that is a singles match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair defends her SmackDown Women's Championship against the winner of the 2023 Royal Rumble. Yes, the winner of the Royal Rumble is rumored to be in the main event, which is what everyone wants, but now they're bitching about it. But that's neither here nor there. Rhea Ripley, Nestlemania. I think I know where I'm going with this one, but I've gone first the last couple, so I'll let you go first this time.
I think Rhea Ripley has to win this one because Charlotte Flair's got to get to 17. So let's
the only way you get to 17 is if you lose number whatever she's on now.
Exactly. She's on 14. We got 3 more to do. She eventually wants to have children, so let her have some kids. But like, let's get these fucking wins and losses going so she can have some kids. You know, like let's do
Little
it.
Little Elo's running around.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do it.
I agree. Give me Rhea Ripley. It's time. Her and Dom will be headed to SmackDown after WrestleMania, as it was teased. Curious to see what happens with the rest of the Judgment Day, if they all go or whatever. But you know what? That's it for that. We know for sure night 1. So now we have the night to be determined matches. So who knows what order these are in, but we'll make the transition right there. We just talked about Dominic Mysterio. We have, between this story and the Bloodline story, like they're 2 of my favorite stories of all time leading to WrestleMania. Father versus son, Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. This thing has been a fucking perfection the whole way through. Dom has become such a fucking big star because of this. I feel like Rey's kind of rejuvenated himself even as a star because Rey Mysterio is like permanently forever over because he's just one of those guys. He's a quote unquote draw, as I'd like to say. But it's one of those things where like it seemed like he hasn't really had anything amazing like in recent memory. And this really like this is a mega match. This is cool. This is awesome. And man, I am so torn on this match and who I think is going to win. But I just feel like they're going to write off Rey for a little bit here, and Dom's going to steal a win by hook or crook, and it's going to set up a rematch down the line. I'm not super confident in it though. But I'm going to pick Dominic Mysterio, but this is probably my least confident pick on the whole card.
I have to go back to history. I have to go back to what makes me feel like good about this pick. And the only thing that I can equate it to as an example is The Undertaker and Kane, right? They're not really brothers, but they're kind of brothers in storyline. And it was very similar where he would not fight his brother. His brother lit him on fire, and then he finally came back and he fought him. And then The Undertaker won because he had to overcome this entire thing. So I feel like Rey Mysterio is going to be my pick here because I feel like Rey Mysterio needs that fucking good, I got it done with and over with. I think I'm done with it. And then something worse will then happen after that. And then Dom will get his shit back after somehow, some way. But I think Rey Mysterio, especially being a Hall of Famer And the other thing that I don't know if they're going to do on Saturday and or Sunday, which has come in my mind, is they're going to parade out all of the Hall of Famers. So having him lose doesn't necessarily seem like a good idea here. So
here's how I think they do that. They parade him out, and then they parade out the main guy, Rey Mysterio, and that leads into his match.
maybe.
I think that's how they do it. But it's one of those things, like the way the picking Rey Mysterio makes sense in terms of a trilogy. It's like you have A New Hope, but then the Dom Strikes Back, but then you have the Return of the Rey. Like that's literally how trilogies work. It goes babyface, heel, babyface. So that makes sense. But for me, I'm going the opposite. I'm zigging where we should be zagging.
It's just funny because you made the Star Wars reference, and I'm like, we already know.
Literally, that's how most trilogies go.
Unless in the middle, when the Dom strikes back, he says Eddie really is his father. Like that would be fucking hysterical.
We've already done the paternity testing.
I know.
Maybe by then Vicky Guerrero's out of her AEW contract and shows up here in WWE.
Oh my God, that'd be hysterical.
Excuse me.
Hysterical.
Oh Lordy. All right. Well, we have 6 more matches to get to. 5 more that to be determined. And the next one we have is a triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Gunther defends against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. I mean, if anything's going to be a Bane fest this weekend, it's going to be this match. This match is a lot of people's most anticipated for in the ring. It is going to be violent. It is going to be nasty. It is probably going to be a classic. And man, there's a lot of storylines here. So obviously Gunther's dominating reign. The title that Sheamus has never got. And then, I mean, Drew McIntyre is the guy where it's like, it feels like he could win it. And then they could either have him feud with Gunther, or they could have him feud with Sheamus. They could do so many things. So this is another one that's probably very difficult to pick. I'm curious what you think, Nestlemania, because I know you're big on the Sheamus moment. So am I. So I'm curious if you go with that.
I don't think Sheamus is going to get it. They're going to make him work for it longer.
Yep.
And I think that Gunther, although ready for other things, isn't quite done yet. And I feel like the only thing that I'm toying with in my brain is like the Mac could win it and be like a side problem, like he beats Sheamus, like one of those things where like by accident he collides with Gunther. Gunther falls out of the ring. He falls on top of a knocked out Sheamus or something like that, But I'm gonna, in my head, in my heart, I want Sheamus. I will scream even if I'm wrong, but I'm picking Gunther.
I'm picking Drew McIntyre. This one, it's tough to pick, but I'm just thinking it's because I think kind of what you said there. I think Drew probably be like whoever he doesn't pin, that's who he can feud with. That's an easy feud first foremost, but it's also like you get to have him one-on-one with Gunther in like a rematch thing right away, and then you also still have the Sheamus thing down the line, like with their friendship and the rivalry and him having it and the jealousy and all that. So I think either way, it's to me that's the one I could sell myself on. But again, like there's a good case for all 3 of these guys. But I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to pick Drew McIntyre to have the moment here at WrestleMania and win a title in front of the crowd, which he hasn't got to do yet.
Meh.
Yeah, you don't care about that. But next up, Nestlemania, I'm taking you to hell in a cell. And maybe not the red version, if you believe the rumors. Edge will be taking on the Diamond King, Finn Balor. And Nestlemania, I've been waiting for this match for a long time. I don't care. This thing's going to be crazy. These two are going to pitch the fucking craziest shit. We'll get to see what they actually let them do. And with a cage, it's just with Edge. Like, I know it's going to be good with a Hell in a Cell cage. It is. And we know Finn can fucking jump off anything, do anything, sell anything with that demon paint. And that's what makes it tough to pick, because I think this would be an easy Edge pick because Balor doesn't need it. But as the demon, I think Triple H has a lot more respect for that gimmick than Vince ever did. So it's hard for me to pick against the demon, especially in a comeback. So I feel like this has to be Balor's moment and Balor to get the big win, because Edge will be fine. He'll be back in a few months or whatever he does. But it's weird to pick against Edge at WrestleMania, but I feel like since he's the demon, to have him come back as a demon and just lose, that feels like not something Triple H would do. So give me Finn Balor to pick up the win here.
2 things very quickly. There's already a Twitter picture that was released where it is actually the silver Hell in a Cell.
They still have time to paint it though, so don't hold your breath. Well, maybe they paint it blue.
That's a lot of spray paint.
Hey, Finn's gonna be putting on paint. Maybe they have some left over.
If he comes back with red, I'm gonna be so bummed out if it's not purple, like purple, black, and white. Like that'd be fun.
I mean, Judgment Day's purple. It's gotta be purple.
Right. But is he gonna come back with like that whole thing or not? Like, I don't know.
I think they'll probably tease it. I think they'll probably do it, whether it's because it seems like with the entrances, they can do like a piece of it and then they'll go to the normal. But I bet you they do the heartbeat thing and the crawl and all that fun stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pick Edge here because if the rumors are true, with the Brood, I'm boned up for that. I think that's gonna be fucking awesome. And if we see all three of them together, I think my childhood memories are gonna be fucking through the roof because that song is such a banger, or it's just like you can't not help but bob to it.
Oh, dude, I can't. The entrances alone,
Yeah.
and you as an entrance chamber can even admit this match. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good entrances at WrestleMania because we know what Triple H likes to do, and we know like Bianca's already teased something, and other people have. But this match in particular, the entrances. I mean, the match is going to be great, but the entrances are probably going to make it even better. So
yeah, and
we're
also
on the same page there.
Edge, to your point, Edge did say, "I have a lot of crazy, shitty ideas. We'll see how many they let me do." So like, this is gonna be nuts. This is gonna be absolutely nuts.
I can't fucking wait. I'm excited. Next up, we have the 2 WrestleMania showcase matches. The Fatal 4-Way Tag Team matches. We'll start with the women's. We have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Natalya and Shotzi, taking on Ronda and Shayna, taking on Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Nestlemania, who you got?
Ronda and Shayna moving on.
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet. I would love to see Raquel and Liv win, but I feel like Ronda and Shayna pin probably fucking Chelsea Green. And we move on, and maybe they win the tag titles and get them off that fucking fake tag team. Next up, the men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. We have Raw O'Shea, Braun Strowman and Ricochet taking on Dun 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 Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Then we have the Shush Please, probably the last match as an actual Alpha Academy. Chad gave a notice, pour one out, but not actually because the stuff's fucking delicious. Against the Viking Raiders of Eric and Ivar, who just trying to find their footing. Oh, by the way, Valhalla is coming with them. This is an interesting one to pick, Nestlemania. I think, again, you can make a case for all these except for probably Alpha Academy. They seem like the easy ones not to win because it seems like they're breaking up. Braun Strowman and Ricochet could easily see them posing at Mania. Street Profits, I mean, they haven't had a big win in a while, but if reports of their demise are true, then maybe they lose. And that leaves me to probably the most boring team in this match picking up the win because I feel like they're an actual tag team that's sticking around. They need something. Give me the Viking Raiders, man.
You stole my pick.
Hey, when you're right, you're right.
I mean, it seems like if KO and Sami are going to win, they're going to need an easy win. So there it is. They're the only heels that matter at this point in that matchup.
And it feels like they're the only team that really needs it because all 3 of those other teams don't mean fucking shit if they lose. And Chad Gable's probably eating the pin either way. So it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have 2 matches left, and they're both bloodline matches. We don't know if this is night 1 or night 2 yet, but I'm assuming this is eventually going to be night 2. And that is a tag team match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, are set to defend both their belts against Team Canada, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The story finally comes to a close at WrestleMania, Nestlemania. And I mean, hey, if you're picking the Usos, all the power to you. But I mean, this is KO and Sami all day, baby.
I mean, it's KO and Sami. I hope this is it should be the end of the night on night 1, but
no,
we'll
I think it's night 2, baby. I'm team night 2.
Okay,
whether it opens or whether it's second to last, either of those spots work for me.
I think that it's a slam dunk. I'm more confident about this than I am about the next one.
Yeah, I think this one feels like a pretty safe bet because the next one, this obviously them winning makes it even more so that it seemed like Cody would win. So if they swerve us, it would be in the second one. And that is the main event, night 2, the only match we know that's on Sunday. Hell, they could make this the whole Sunday pay-per-view and I'd fucking still be more excited for night 2 than night 1, even with all the great shit we talked about. And that is because Nestlemania, the undesirable, is looking to become undeniable. The 2023 Royal Rumble winner, the man who left and came back and fucking built another company on his way, is getting his chance for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. He's doing it for you. He's doing it for me. He's doing it for his family. He's doing it for his dad. But most importantly, he's doing it for his motherfucking self. The American Nightmare, the kingdom, the reign. Will it begin when he takes on the man with the current reigns? Oh, yes, that is Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the champion, who will have Paul Heyman behind him in the mega match of all mega matches. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, main event. You know where I'm going. It's not even a fucking discussion for me. Cody Rhodes is going to hold up that title, and I am going to fucking bawl happily. You thought last year that I got emotional when he fucking holds those titles above his head. Give me Cody Rhodes, baby. Complete the story.
I mean, if you don't pick Cody, you're insane. I'm not crying right now because of Cody. I'm crying because I'm trying to hold back coughing, but I'll probably cry on Sunday.
It's going to be emotional.
It'll be an emotional ride.
Either way, it's going to be emotional because if he fucking loses, it's going to be emotional too because he's going to be crying in the ring. I'm going to be crying right there with him.
Either way, I got to have a video on you towards the end. There's going to be like 100 fall season this thing too.
Oh, this match is going to they're not going to touch for like the first 20 minutes of this match. So this match is probably going to go over 45 minutes, but in terms of actual wrestling, it'll probably be like 20. And there's going to be nonsense throughout. There's going to, like you said, falsies. There's going to be teases. Anything you can think of happening is probably being booked as part of this match.
I would think that because it's labeled a dusty finish, that we will get a fake win from Cody with the fucking foot on the rope. They restart the goddamn thing. Like they'll do the whole
How many ref
shebang.
bumps? Over under 2.
Oh, there's at least 2. At least 2. It's Mania.
I am emotionally not ready for this yet.
It's a lot. It's like you got to really prepare yourself for this. This is going to be a lot. So we got through it all. We got through it all.
Did. What is your most anticipated match? This for me. It's
for me. I mean, that's the moment. I don't care about the matchup so much. I care about the moment.
Okay, let's split it up. This is the moment. What's the in ring? What is, I guess is a better way to put it. What is your most anticipated match?
For me, the actual match I am like boned up, ready to fucking go for, in my opinion, is Rey Mysterio and Dominic. In ring.
See, to me, that's like story part 2. I think in ring is going to be good too, but for me, I mean, again, you guys can fucking make all the comments you want, and I'm not fucking doing this as a gimmick, but in ring, I need to see what Brock Omos looks like. I mean, Logan Seth and Edge Balor, and then the triple threat for the IC title. Those are easy WrestleBoner picks. But in terms of, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, whether it's going to be really good or really fucking bad or somewhere in between. I have no fucking idea what Brock and Omos is going to be. And so in the ring, like for me, I just can't wait to see that.
I want to see Heyman dressed as Stardust.
Wouldn't that be? I don't know if I want to see Heyman in a bodysuit. No, thank you. But that would be funny.
He'd be sweating out of his fucking gills. Jesus Christ. Again, there's something about Cena in theory too that I'm very interested in.
Yes.
In ring, because I think the good storytelling is going to be there too. So.
Yeah, because Cena will bring it. It's obviously always curious to see how he is, but he always, I mean, I think a lot of this stuff is so quote unquote safe that in theory, such a good seller. Theory is going to make him look like a fucking $1 million, even if he's a step behind. But yeah, and I mean, if we're strictly WrestleBoner, I don't know how it isn't Paul Seth or Edge Balor. It's just like those 2 matches. I can't imagine the fucking ridiculous spots they're going to attempt.
And before we go, any debuts or returns that you're excited about that you
for Raw after Mania
or at Mania or something special or anything like that?
I do think we see Randy Orton by some point. Probably not WrestleMania, probably on Raw. Riddle's another one to return, whether they return together or separate or something. I feel like both of those ones are ready to go. In terms of like call-ups, I think there's some obvious ones in NXT. But like I said, I really do. I hope and I do think that Kairi Sane. There's been the tease of a former big name coming back. I feel like it really could be her. Obviously, like we know, like the Jay White things out there and all this other stuff. In terms of stuff like that, which very well there could be something like that. But I would tender your expectations a little bit. But to me, I think like the name is Kairi Sane.
All right. Well, I tend to agree with everything that you just said. Our boy Danny Grimwood says this has a massive potential to be up there as one of the best Manias ever.
I agree.
I think the last best Mania from top to bottom is 31 for me. I mean, 34 was good, but I think 31 to me was like a new era and like all my favorites won. So I really enjoyed 31 an awful lot. So it's hard to beat 31 in my brain recently anyway, that I can think of going back. Because that's only, I don't know, 8 years ago? So it's just, that's hard for me to beat 31. So that's what I think about that. But
that'll
again,
be interesting. But I mean, we talked about it. Like I said, there was one match on the card that I don't really want to see. Besides that, I'm excited for all of them. Even like I said, the stupid ones, just because whatever. But I think in terms of build, I think this is the most like meat we've had with like collective matches. Because there's always like a couple stories that are awesome, but this year it sure feels like a lot of the stories and a lot of the lead ups have been like as good as it could be in terms of like spacing it out. So I think that's pretty cool.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this WrestleMania size knocker, and we hope that you'll be back next week because JC unfortunately will not be here next week.
I'm gonna be celebrating Cody too hard.
Yes, he's gonna be. He's gonna be.
I'm gonna be in Can Cody celebrating.
Can Cody. Jesus Christ. On that note, thank you for listening to the Jobber Knocker, watching the Jobber Knocker. We'll be back next week with more Jobber Knockery.
Whoa, he's gonna be the champion. Whoa, he's gonna be the champion tonight.